This Voice Registry podcast is brought to you by voicebank.net. Hi, everyone. I'm Tracy Pattin, and today I have a very amazing guest. I call her the superstar of the voiceover world for female voices and promo work, Randy Thomas. Randy is one of the most recognized female voices in America. Randy has the distinguished honor as the first woman to announce the biggest and most prestigious award show in the world, not once, but a record-breaking 7 times, including her return in 2008 for the 80th Annual Academy Awards. You hear Randy on E.T., the Entertainment Tonight Show, The Insider, so you will definitely recognize her voice. So, Randy, how did you get into voiceover?
I spent 20 years on the radio as a DJ. That was my first love, was radio, and through that, I found my way into the world of voiceover.
How did you get into promo voiceover work?
When I was cast as the first woman to announce the Academy Awards in 1993, I was a DJ at the time, and in fact, I believe that the way that I won that audition is they asked me, am I afraid of being live to 1 billion people? And my feeling was that I'm only talking to one person. It's just like radio. I'm a broadcaster. I'm an announcer. I can do this job. And so once I did the Academy Awards and I was known for having that full projected sound that also lent itself to being classy and warm, I felt that my voice would lend itself to promo. And once I rode in Don LaFontaine's limo and went to all of his jobs with him, I knew that that's what I wanted to do with my life, promo.
And what was your very first voiceover job?
My very first job was while I was working at KMET, before that was taken away, that legendary rock station. I was cast as the voice of Hooked on Phonics, teaching children how to read.
So, Randy, what kind of voiceover projects are you working on right now?
Well, this is actually kind of top secret. I am flying to Denver, Colorado in the morning. I will be at the Democratic National Convention for Obama's big speech Thursday night.
Wow, so you are going to Denver to the Democratic National Convention to be an announcer. I mean, that has got to be one of the best voiceover gigs. So, Randy, what's a typical day like for you in your voiceover career?
When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is look at my emails and see what's come in overnight from various folks that I work for. As the voice of Entertainment Tonight and The Insider for CBS television distribution, my day with them can begin anytime after 5 a.m. Pacific, so that's 8 o'clock my time on the East Coast. And I am working with them all day long. They fax me copy or email me copy, and then they dial me up live on my ISDN. The other thing that I do is record for the various television programs that I work for. For example, I'm the voice of WWOR, My 9 in New York. And so as their voice for My 9 News, I'm constantly getting promos and various things that they need for the news. And I work for a handful of Hearst television stations, TV affiliates. And I work for radio stations because I came from radio. That was my first love. That was the first thing I did when I held out my voice for hire shingle. And I started working for radio stations as their imaging voice. So most of my day is comprised of recording in Pro Tools, editing, and turning that audio around by putting it up on my FTP and letting my clients know it's ready for pickup. With ET and Insider, they dial me up, so I work with them via ISDN. And whatever else comes up during the course of a day. A lot of auditions.
And you do voiceover work like every day?
Pretty much all the time. Once my day gets going around 9 a.m., I don't stop till 6 at night. And speaking of which, I have Sarah dialing in from Insider right now. So, Tracy, I'm going to have to read for ET right now while I'm on the phone with you. Okay. So, hang on. Okay. Now, before dancing announced Susan Lucci was hitting the floor, we sat down with the star ready to samba at 61. One more take for me. Now, before Dancing announced Susan Lucci was hitting the floor, we sat down with the star ready to samba at 61. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so that's what my day is like with Entertainment Tonight and Insider.
So, Randy, Sarah from the Insider TV show calls you whenever she needs you to voice something on any given day.
Correct. She just dials right into my ISDN. So if I'm in my booth, I hear her in my headphones. And in that case, she emailed me copies. So I read it, and that was a pickup. The bulk of the morning with them is spent doing all the promos. So for each show, we do a 30, a 20, a 15, a 10, and a 5. And we do that for ET and Insider. But then in many markets, like in Los Angeles, we have combo shows. So then we also do cross promos and combo promos. And then I do the in-show for whatever they need that day. And then, so we do 5 days a week, 2 shows a day. But really, we're putting up 4 shows because we do ET going into the Insider going into ET, and then in some markets, they're just standalone. They run separately and they're not together. And so there's different voiceovers that occur depending on which version of the show we're working on.
Randy, how does a female voice actor get into promo work?
Well, promo is so varied. There are so many different types of promo reads depending on the channel that you're reading for. Women can find a lot of work on Lifetime and Oxygen and HGTV and the Style Network and Discovery. I think that there's so much work out there. Sadly, the networks are not really using women in prime time.
This has been part 1 of my interview with Randy Thomas. Tune in next time for part 2. This Voice Registry podcast was brought to you by VoiceBank.net.